This is a sponsored video. I'm going to tell you about an app called Genuine Impact. But while this is a sponsored video, this is a great day for me because I don't think I've ever been sponsored to do anything in my life. People didn't even pay up when I went on them fun runs. And what's probably most awesome about this is that you guys have been asking me to review this app, and I use it a lot anyway. I've just managed to get them to pay me to do it somehow. And also, while they are paying me, they've said I can say whatever I want. And trust me, I'm gonna. The Genuine Impact app, as I see it, is an app that's designed to make value investing that little bit easier. And I find it's a great way of finding out very quickly if a company or an index are worth investing in. For example, I can find out very quickly if the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF is worth investing in. There's a very simple checklist that tells you how good it is in comparison to other ETFs. It tells you how good the returns have been on the S&P 500. It tells you how risky the S&P 500 is, and it tells you how good the Vanguard fees are. Wow, I've only just found out it does indexes, and it's got quite a bit of information on here. Pretty good. Obviously, you have to do a lot more research than this. You can't just rely on one app to tell you what to do. But here's what I use it for, and I think it might be a great tool for you to use too. In the YouTube comments, you guys throw lots of different stocks and funds at me that I really want to look at. I know not all of them are going to be amazing, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. Please believe me, there's quite a few, good and bad. So when I see a suggestion, I just run it through the Genuine Impact app. Within about 2 minutes, I can tell if this company is going to be worth looking into more or whether I should just dump it straight away. If it's worth looking at, I give it a little star. And that tells me I should come back and look at it. If it's not any good, I click off it, and the next time I hear about it is when you come back to me and tell me that it's 10x, then I should have listened to you all along. Happens a lot. So that's how I use it. There are so many stocks out there. I don't want to be into everyone's 10Ks. I just want to look at the app, see if it thinks it's any good, and if it's close to what I'm looking for, I'll give it a go. I'm using it as a first line of defense against wasting time. And I think I'll start with what I think are the good parts of the app. The best part of the app, by far, is its design. It's sleek, it's easy to read, and not very complicated at all. It's exactly what I need from investing, because this channel is all about trying to make investing as simple and as accessible as possible. The app keeps things real simple, and as long as you take 5 minutes just to understand their ranking system, you immediately add yourself another layer of due diligence. It ranks out a lot of information for you. It gives you lots of scores on loads of different metrics, and you don't really need to understand it too much. And also, if you can be asked to put in your entire portfolio and all the weightings, you can have access to their new portfolio system. It gives you a really good insight into how good your overall portfolio is doing, and it even gives you suggestions of different stocks that you might want to buy in similar sectors to ones that you own. I really rate this little bit because it really has opened me up to a lot of different stocks that I just didn't know about. The portfolio mode gathers loads of the qualities of your stocks up together and then ranks things in scoring. I think this is the best part of the Genuine Impact app. It gives you a great little insight and a great reminder that your portfolio is still within your risk tolerance. It's still within your style of investing. So for instance, if I saw a dividend cover that was low, I'd be like, shit. This is not what I'm looking for. I need to change my portfolio around because I need to be looking at companies that can cover their dividend. But there are absolutely tons of metrics in there that I'm not going to go into, but I think a lot of this is really on par, if not better, than some of the sites like Simply Wall Street, Seeking Alpha, Yahoo Finance, man. And now for the bad points, or improvements to make. This app is a pretty new app as far as I understand, so it's got some teething problems. At times the app can feel a little bit clunky. It takes a while to load some things, and I don't know, sometimes it just seems to get stuck every now and then. It also takes a little bit of time to get used to the format. It doesn't feel super intuitive to me. I don't know. A lot of people might disagree with me on that, but to me, I feel like there's better ways to do this. Don't even bother searching for a ticker. It won't find it. Their search system is really bad. I've told them this though. If I search for Coca-Cola, the company is the last company on the list that it finds. So even if you search the company to the letter, on a lot of occasions it won't find it. And if you're into growth companies or SPACs, I wouldn't bother. Because it's a value investing based app, it throws up some real anomalies on some real shit companies. I mean, Nikola, a very high quality company. I also wouldn't look at any specialist stocks with this app either, like REITs or MLPs, because those types of stocks use different metrics to be valued, and this app only looks at stocks in one way. I think that's something for them to improve on in the future though. A lot of other online stock sites don't do this either, so they're pretty much on par with the rest of them. And while I love the simplicity and the ease of this app, it gives you these little scores, you can go really deep and stuff. You can get some really good rankings on these stocks on really specific metrics. But they don't give you any numbers at all. This app can feel really patronizing. It's like, hey idiot, pick this stock, it's really cheap.
Genuine Impact says it's cheap. I'll smash buy.
They calculate each score with really high detail, so they must use some really good numbers. But we don't know how recent these numbers are or if they're up to date. I don't feel fully comfortable using this app to make all of my decisions because I don't know what data it's looking at. It's the same with Trading 212. Sometimes the information just isn't accurate or up to date. But that isn't what the app's for. And I don't think the creators of this app thought it was going to be for that either. This app is a very, very good screening app. It tells you immediately whether a stock is worth looking into a little bit more or don't waste your time. And it does that job very, very, very well. Way better than anything I've seen out there. So let's put it to the test with a new game of Is It Shit? Genuine Impact Edition. If you've never seen this segment before, I take a look at some of the stocks that you guys have suggested to me. I take a look for a good few minutes and then decide whether it's shit or not. Just remember that I look at these stocks from the viewpoint of a dividend investor, not a growth investor or anything like that. So these are just my opinions. I'm also not a financial advisor, so don't take any of this as financial advice. Jeez. So let's get started with Is It Shit? Genuine Impact Edition. First up from Yuri Husky, what do you think about Greggs? Looks like a good company. Genuine Impact has Greggs down as a very high quality company and a very expensive company. This would make me think, yep, let's go look into it more. So we do. Greggs had a great year last year, I think, but its share price went up so high that it just didn't have anywhere else to go. The stock could go massive though if it releases more meat-free products. You've got to remember that Greggs' stock price is directly correlated to how high Piers Morgan's blood pressure is. Raman Verk asked, hey Paul, I was wondering what you think of Ted Baker stock. Is it worth buying? Ted Baker, that's the clothing company, right? Genuine Impact says the quality is low and the value is very cheap. That's a pretty crap stock. It's shit. Move on. See how easy that is? Dervis wants to know about Helion. Is it shit? Genuine Impact has it as a medium quality company and very, very expensive. But its momentum is very weak. It's very weak because recently Helion stock has took a massive dump. It could be cheap now. The company could go on to be quite successful. But Helion is the hybrid car of the truck world. And we know hybrid cars are pretty crap right now. Why would you buy a company that just does half the job of Tesla? Harry Davis asks, what's your opinion on Aviva? Is it shit? Genuine Impact has Aviva down as a high quality company, a very high quality company, and a very cheap company at the same time. So this company might be worth looking at in greater detail. And when you do look into it, you find out that Aviva is actually a pretty good company. Loads of cash and loads of cover. It's had a few problems recently with shareholders arguing with management about the direction the company needs to go in. And they brought on some new management in response in the form of Amanda Blanc. She's here to split it up and take Aviva in two separate directions. What strikes me as amazing is these CEOs of these massive, massive companies don't have many Twitter followers. Amanda Blanc has about 2,400 Twitter followers at the moment. You'd expect that CEOs of companies had a bit more of a following when so many people invest in them. What's even crazier about this Twitter is it's 50% shoes. And for Twitter, it should have more followers, just for the foot fetish vibe. I think Aviva might be a pretty good company. I'd need to do a lot more analysis on it though. I'm with Legal & General, which is a very similar company, and it took me months to figure out what that company does. I still don't feel confident enough to talk about it on camera, because I might have it completely wrong. But Legal & General has done very well for me recently, and that's just the one I went with. Paul Ashcroft says, haha, love the Is It Shit segment. Check out Livongo, tell me if it's shit. When you look at Livongo, you really want to look at Teladoc. Teladoc is rated as a high quality company and very expensive at the moment. And I'm pretty sure Paul asked this question months ago. So if he got into Livongo, he did really well. But most people in Livongo and Teladoc only care about the Teladoc merger. GPs are going to love Teladoc because they don't have to sit around looking at your manky foot all day. They at least don't have to smell it. They can tell over camera now that it's infected. And now, instead of waiting in a GP surgery with all the other smelly people catching all those diseases, you can now just wait for even longer in your own virtual waiting room. It's not so bad anymore. Even though Teladoc is very, very expensive, it's probably a pretty good buy. It's going to be a big thing in America. It has a lot of competition with Microsoft, but then who doesn't have a competition with Microsoft? So there you have it. I think the Genuine Impact app is a pretty good app. I think it's really good for screening and it gives you a lot of information very easily. However, it treats you like a bit of a child sometimes, and you will still have to go out and do your own research on top of it. For me, this app is really useful for taking a lot of shit stocks and kicking the majority of them to the curb. And the creators of the app haven't actually asked me to do this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Genuine Impact are currently in the final stages of a funding round. I think it closes on Tuesday. They were looking for £150,000 to develop the next stage of their app. And I think they've blasted that funding round by gaining over £500,000. A lot of people truly believe in this app. And if you Google Genuine Impact funding, you can invest in Genuine Impact too. It doesn't seem to need your money, but I'm sure it'll have more if you wanted to invest in it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I still hope this was entertaining. Even though it's a sponsored video, I still wanted to provide some value for you as well. I hope you found it interesting. There's probably not going to be another one for a long time. Please feel free to send me more stocks for Is It Shit in the comments below. And if you wanted to continue the chat, you can join up to the Discord and chat with loads of other investors. You can check me out on Instagram if you really want to. I post on there quite a lot. And if you wanted to get investing, you can sign up to Trading 212. There's a link in the description below. If you sign up through that link, you get a free share. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and invest in Genuine Impact. Do you think that was good? Do you think that was positive on Genuine Impact, or if it was negative? It was mostly positive, right? Yeah, it was mostly positive. Mostly.